What is good, people? What is good, people? We are back with another live stream. Shout out to everyone who showed love yesterday. We made it to 500 subs. We really appreciate that. Everyone, shout out to Elite Baller. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay locked in. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a Twitter Spaces legend with me. Diehard Manchester United fan, good brother, somebody I respect his football opinions, even though I don't always agree with him, but I genuinely respect his opinions, bro. So I'm telling you, I'm not bringing anybody on this channel if I don't respect their opinion. So everyone make sure to show love to my guy, NK. What's good, brother?
Nothing, man. Nothing, man. Just here, relaxing. Summer is almost over. Football
Yeah.
is back. So that's
Yeah,
always
bro.
good.
No, I know, bro. I was thinking like, bro, the summer is always bittersweet because it's like there's no sports. You
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah.
But the weather's great. It's fantastic. But I'm like bored. It's like, yeah, going out is cool and stuff. But man, give me football, bro. Give
Yeah,
me,
the only thing I wanted to really do this summer that I couldn't do, I wanted to go to LA to
yeah,
go catch one of the games, but I was working too
yeah.
much, so I didn't
Same,
get a chance
bro.
to.
I wanted to go. I'm actually going to LA next week. Funny enough, I'm gonna be in LA all next week. My little sister, she lives out there, so I'm gonna go see her. I was
Oh, okay,
trying to,
okay.
I was trying to get to the games, but bro, like the company I work for, our Q4 is like in the summer.
Yeah, yeah,
So getting out to, I was like, bro, it's
yeah.
just not gonna.
You will not get a time off.
Yeah, I wouldn't get any time off, so it's tough. But much love, everybody. Much love to MUFC Cool and everyone in the chat. Everyone, much love, much love. Um, yeah. I got you, Rajat. I thought you didn't. I got you, Rajat. I'll get you modded up. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We're talking latest transfer news. Um, we're talking latest transfer news. Obviously, paint Manchester red. Much love to everybody. Um, yeah, bro. You know my man got the crispy beard, man. You already know, bro.
uh,
Yeah, bro. Hey, Sir Jim is living up to his "we don't need to sign Mbappe, we can find the next Mbappe." Hey, I agree. I agree. Talk, hey, NK, talk to me because I know you are a Ratcliffe or Ineos critic. You're
Critic,
an Ineos, you're an
big
Ineos,
one, big one, big one.
you're a big Ineos critic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the news here. Actually, let's get into the news here. I want to talk about the here we go we saw today from Fabrizio Romano in regards to Sekou Kone. Sekou Kone. I thought I pulled it up earlier. My apologies. Let me pull it up real quick. But I didn't know too much about him, to be fair. I don't know if too many fans knew about him, right? But he is now a Manchester United player. You feel me? And I think he was born in what is it, 2006. So exclusive Man United agreed to sign 2006 born Mali international talent Sekou Kone from Gidars FC. Here we go. Kone was on the list of several clubs, but United have agreed a deal today. Considered top talent. He's part of the long-term plans, similar to Chido, Obi, Martin. Yeah, bro. What do you think about this? And what do you think about the low key signings like Obi Martin and Kone? What do you think about this?
I'm not really moved by them. I'm not really moved by them. It's been something that we've been doing anyways, you know. But I feel like because maybe Ineos are just doing it, people are hyping it too much. Because we were doing it under John Meta, where we signed like the Genacho, Alvaro Fernandez, I think Toby Colley, who was also on preseason too. We did sign him too right before Tim Hart kind of like came in, and it's all good all the time, kind of like signing like youth players or so, but you always need to fix the first team, you know, because if the first team always have like a good environment and make it easy for these kids to kind of like come through. Because at United we have had some talented kid in the youth team, but for some reason they just haven't been able to get a chance in the first team.
Yeah.
A lot of them, yeah. So I'm hoping they signing these players, they actually got like a good plan for them. You know, because if you look at Pelistri, for example, who we are about to sell, he was another promising player that we signed, but there was not any pathway for him. So if they are doing this, where they're bringing the kids into the under 18s or under 21s, I hope they have like a pathway for them. in terms of like how to integrate them into the first team. But
Yeah.
until then, for now, I would just let the other fans be excited about their prospects. I will concentrate more on the first team until they come to the first team. Then we'll talk more about that too.
Yeah, yeah, no, and that's, you know what, that's a fair point. I think our scouting has been good over the past few years. Like I think our scouts have been generally good. We've been able to find talent. I think the one thing that we haven't, I'm not even say that because we had the Mason Greenwoods of the world. We don't have to talk about that, but obviously top talent. It looks like Kobe Manu was going to turn into a potentially world-class player.
Yeah.
You know, we've produced talent. You know what I'm saying? It's the unfortunate Paul Pogba. We can even go as far as back as Paul Pogba, right? Toby Collier looks good. It's just being able to integrate them. You're right. It's being able to integrate them into the first team. I saw his highlights. I looked at his highlights today. You know, he looks like a I don't want to say like a typical African DM, but
Yeah.
like,
I feel like Kante, but one thing too
yeah.
that on Twitter too, and some of the GCs that they did highlight that because right before the transfer window, we did bring in that guy friend Christopher Varo, so the former he was at Chelsea and he used to work for RB Leipzig, and he's very good in terms of like sporting talent. So we are hoping like this is one of those ones where the talent that he has spotted has been one of those gems because they are very good in terms of like picking up some of the best talent from like Africa, send them to like that Red Bull group,
Mm-hmm,
and then
mm-hmm.
eventually like bring them into like the top clubs too. So let's hope that we have potentially landed one of these kids too, and I'm hoping maybe in the next like maybe year or two. I don't know how the whole UEFA rules are. If they can loan this boy to what do you call it to Nice in France, let him
Mm-hmm.
get some first team experience there, and then bring him to United. If they
Mm-hmm.
can, if the rule doesn't prevent them from doing that too, because that would be a very good thing to kind of like the way he can go there, get the first team minutes there, and then we can kind of like bring him similar to I think what Tottenham done with their left back, you know,
Right.
something
Right.
similar like that. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And I think hopefully, I think one thing we've struggled with is loan spells for these players. Right. We haven't been able to find good like places for them to really settle in. Like Ahmad at Sunderland, right? You know,
Yeah.
but even before that, he was at Rangers and he didn't have a good loan spell.
Right.
Who there was there's another player too that there's
Pelistri too
others.
has been
Yeah,
having some
thank
very
you.
poor
Police exactly.
loan
So
spell.
there's somebody else I'm missing that who hasn't had good loan spells, and you know they're coming into this. Oh man, forgive me. I'll remember. But long story short, you know we've seen this, so I want to see Ineos kind of do something similar, right? You know, much love to everyone in the chat though. Real quick, Juventus have made contact with Sancho's camp. We'll talk about Jadon Sancho because I definitely want to get this man's opinion. Stratford Gamer Bro, I just subbed and hit notification. Much love. Cheeto Obi Martin training ahead of completing his Man United move. Video uploaded. This kid is giving Greenwood vibes. His movement and his first touch. Subbed. Appreciate. 7 days until the transfer window closes. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting moves, man. A lot of interesting moves that they're still to be made. Let's talk about the transfer window so far, though, real quick before we start talking about the next game. Like, what have you thought of the window so far? How are you feeling? Obviously we're a game into the season, but
Yeah.
you feel like it's been a good window, a bad window. What are your thoughts?
I won't say a good window. There's been some stuff that because going into this window, I just wanted to kind of like see a different approach of how we do things. So that was what I was kind of like looking for. And there's some things that Ineos have done that to me I've seen as okay, maybe this is new. This is something that we haven't done. And there's also been stuff too that they've done too that way I feel like okay, nothing have really kind of like changed. But overall, I would say like it's been like an average window. Some of the things I like is like the age bracket of players that we sign because when you're using the word rebuild and you're trying to kind of like build to challenge in 3 years time, I think the age bracket is always important because you want in 3 years time you want them to hit their peak, and if you look at like Euro, ZIRKZEE, Delay, these are like good age, so if in 3 years time if they are been able to be successfully assemble the team, I think they'll
Right.
be able to pick together, you know.
Right.
Because
Right. Right.
when we signed Casemiro, I was really against that because of his age. You know, it was a rebuild season, and then we signed him. So by the time we were kind of like ready, he'll be literally his best days will pass him. So I
Right.
like the age aspect of things too.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the negotiation that they've been doing, the prices that we've been paying for these players too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think the prices have been fair. They've been also been able to walk away from deals if
Mm-hmm.
the price don't suit to what they're trying to do too. So in that aspect, kind of like I've been I've liked that too.
Yeah.
What
No.
one of my big concerns too about the window is that before the window we wanted to kind of like see Ineos identity, you know, because the last two window has been heavily been influential by Tim Hag and some of like his ex players. And I think most of the time, a lot of people used to say like Tim Hag need like a structure to kind of like help him recruit
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of stuff too. But uh, I kind of like has mixed feelings that the fact that even Ineos have come in, we're still kind of like signing some of his ex players. Even though I'm a big fan of the two ex players that they've been able to bring in, which is Deleuze and Mazouari. I'm a big fan of those, but I would have loved them to be able to kind of like recruit for the club, not necessarily for the manager, you know. But again, from speaking to other people too, they've assured me that you know some of the players who are players that love like managers
Mm-hmm.
would love to kind of like have at the football club too. But I don't want us to do the past mistake where after a manager leave, we stuck with like their players because that's one of the problems that we've been having at the club for a very long time. You know, managers leaving their players there and
Yeah.
even
No.
too.
That's true. That's true. I there's things I hear where you're coming from in regards to, you know, we're still signing a lot of Dutch adjacent players, right? Obviously Delict, Mazraoui, and players like that, right? But here's where I am a bit more optimistic than you about this window. I think this window was always more about resetting the perception of Man United and how we do deals, right? I think that for far too long, people have just slapped a price on any player and we just pay it, right? Hoyland 70 million, Mason Mount year left on his deal 60 million, Anthony. The scouts valued him at 30, 25, 30 million. We paid 80 million for him, right?
Yeah,
So just doing things that don't make any sense, right? Whereas in this window, we knew we had to offshed a lot of players, which we did, right? If we look here, right, we got rid of Palestri. Obviously, we took a net loss, but there's potential for a 45% sell-on clause, which is if Panathinaikos sells him for 20 million, we make a profit. So I think
yeah,
that's a good deal, right? AWB for 17 mil, you have to cut your losses. That was never their fault, right? But we offshed a player that's not good enough. Cool. Young player, cool. Varane, no more 250K, 300K wages. I'll live with that. Even though I love Varane, I wouldn't have minded him here, but I understand the logic, right? Greenwood, 26 million euros for Greenwood. I'll take it. He's probably worth more, but obviously the situation he was in, not much you can do there. 6 million for Alvaro. He never played in the first team. So I think that's a
yeah,
good deal for somebody who never played in the first team. Kambwala, right, made a profit on him. Obviously,
yeah.
Van de Beek, that is what it is. But I think we offset a lot of players, right? And then we brought in players. And I think the money we paid for those players, right, I don't think we necessarily overpaid for anybody. Euro is one of the most sought after young center backs in the world,
I
right?
think the Euro one is a bit debatable because he had 1 year left on his contract to pay that amount. But I do understand why they paid that too. I did understand why they paid that because a promising center back coming too. But only time will tell. You know the thing about fan base that we always change our opinion based on how if the player do well, we don't worry about the price too much. It's when they don't do well, then we come back with the pricing too. But in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
outgoing, I haven't been impressed like how you have, you know, because to me, in terms of like the senior players, I think Wan Bissaka is the only one that they've been able to kind of like moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping a lot more could have gone. For example, the McTominay deal, I'm still feel some type of way about it. If McTominay don't get sold in this window, because they've had an offer there, why they didn't accept the 20 million, I don't know.
No, let me play devil's. I'm not no, not, let me not even play devil's advocate. This is what I think it was the right decision, and let me tell you why. I think people have been are too used to undervaluing our players and setting prices just because they know that we're in a particular situation, right? I am willing to take a loss for one summer to reset the market and let people know you're not just going to bully us in deals anymore, right? No matter, I'm not a big fan of Scott McTominay. I'm really not. But the facts are that he should be worth more than Sander Berger. I'm sorry. It's just a fact. Emile Smith-Rowe hasn't played in 2 years, and he went for 34 million, right? So if their valuation is 30 million, stick to the 30 million.
But are we factoring the fact that, because see what you say, and I do agree with it too, but to me, Scott is in his last year of contract, so there have to be a conversation in terms of like, if he don't get sold this summer, are they going to give him a new deal? Or are they going to let him go on a free? So I don't know if he has a year to trigger it. I'm not quite sure just yet.
No, I think it's his last year. It's his last year.
Yeah, it's the last. So that's what I'm trying to say. Because, and this is what I said to you, like sometimes, because it was similar to what happened with Jesse Lingard, where we had opportunity to sell him. We didn't sell him. He ended up leaving for free, and we criticized that decision a lot. The fan base criticized that decision, but I have a feeling like now with Ineos, they're gonna try to, I don't know, spin it to make it similar to what you're doing. Say, hey, you know what? We are trying to reset it. But to me, I don't know. If we don't get money for Scott McTominay and we end up, because I don't think he's a player that United will ever let him live on a free. And I don't want to go along the line where they give him a new contract. I'm very, very worried about him getting a new contract too. Because, some of the players are getting new contract already. And yeah, I'm hoping that Maguire too is another player too that go a year left on his contract too. Would they let him go, or will they give him a new contract too? So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what Ineos are going to do in regards to those two players if they end up not moving this window, because that would say a lot about their direction too.
Right, I agree. I do agree with that. If they gave those two players new contract, I retract what I said. I'll say that right now. But I don't think they're going to get new contracts, especially McTominay. Right, they're investing in midfield players. They're trying to get Ugarte. Right, they're obviously the manager wants to play Mason Mount right over McTominay. That's essentially McTominay's spot. Right, so I just don't.
So the manager want to play Mason Mount over Scott McTominay?
I do.
No, I don't. I think. See, me, I think if Scott McTominay stay, I think he get a new contract. Because even at the weekend when we played, when the goal scored, I said, please don't let it be Scott McTominay. Please don't let it be Scott. I was very happy it was ZIRKZEE that scored the goal, man. Very happy, man. But I don't know, he's just one of those players where, because of like his academy days or so, look, Bruno Fernandes got a new contract. I would not put it past Ineos giving
listen.
A new contract.
I am not a Bruno Fernandes fan. That is the one decision I've criticized. Honestly, I haven't even criticized it that hard. I probably should have criticized it harder, but again, me being maybe too positive, I'll play devil's advocate for this one, because in my head I didn't think it was. I'll say I did not think that was the right decision to make. I'll be very clear about that. But what was it? Was it a 3-year deal?
Yeah, I think he just had like another extra year for what he had already, but they increase his money,
his wages. Exactly. So
wages,
yeah. So I mean, the logic for me is just, can he retain his value? Because I don't know if you rate Bruno or not. Do you rate him as a player? What are your thoughts on him?
I can't stand the guy.
Okay. So we're on the same page there. I'm not a fan of Bruno Fernandes, but I think their thought process is he does have a market value. Like, in terms of, when he's 32, can we send him to Saudi and or can we send him to PSG or whatever the case may be? And
But
it won't be.
nobody came for him this summer. So what make you
No,
think someone will come from Man United too? I don't know.
you're probably right. You're probably
Yeah.
right. You're probably right about that one. Let's get in the comment. Rajab, we can see the difference. ZIRKZEE's already made, for example. Leacher the Butcher can do it. Anthony's probably able. Don't see. Shout out DLM Designs for the dope thumbnails. For the dope thumbnails, he's always making sure the channel's looking clean. Also, shout out my guy James Ridge. He's also a great graphic designer. So I want to give both of those guys some love. You can't let Lindelof, McTominay, Maguire, and Eriksen leave on a free. It will be a stain to their first summer window. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I'm much more. I do agree that would it be good to get a fee for Lindelof? Yes, and I still think we'll get a fee for Lindelof. By the way, McTominay, for instance, we have a week left. Napoli is interested. Whatever the case, we'll see what happens. Trust me, Napoli need players. Trust and believe they need players. So it's still early. It's not early, but we still have time, I should say. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it would be if Eriksen leaves on a free, we bought him for free. That's not
I think Eriksen might end up leaving to go to Ajax. I think out of all the names that have been listed below there, I think Lindelof stay. I think McTominay stay. I think Maguire stay. I think Eriksen is the only one that I see leaving, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
NK is so much more chilled than on screen than his face. I know every time
they'll be stressing me on space.
Every time I enter one of those spaces, I'm like, oh, they're yelling again. Let me just run away.
Yeah, they'll be stressing me about that.
It's crazy. Can't stand Lindelof, man. He is another De Gea. He gets away with murder. Man United is probably going to money other ways, find money other ways, even if these players go for zero. Yeah, I think for me, it's really. The previous regime, the decisions they made bad decisions all across almost every decision they made was bad. So I just can't even compare the two. I genuinely believe like for instance, this Ugarte deal, right? I'm happy they're not letting PSG just say, 60 million and just pay it. Like, why would we do that? Why would he just went for 60 million euros?
Yeah.
You feel me? Why would we then go and say, they're saying, okay, pay 60 million. We're just going to do it. Like, does that make sense? Like, so I'm happy that they're being patient. They're like sticking to their guns. They're clearly there was some report about Ederson yesterday. I don't know if it's true or not. They put in a bid for Ederson of Atalanta. I'm happy that they're looking in other avenues, looking in different departments. Hey guys, we got over 12 people watching. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 600 subscribers now, so we would really appreciate it if you show some love. Get money because they are definitely England's top two clubs. With Man United's injury issues under Ten Hag's intense training, I want a blow the squad. I'm not about this Exodus thing.
That's a fair comment too.
No, I hear it. Temi, PSG trying to get Lookman. Oh, that's true. I did hear about that though, but we'll see. We'll see. There was a Sancho comment here. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk about. Actually, that's the next thing I wanted to talk about, and then we'll get into the match preview.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about Jadon Sancho real quick. There was some reports that came, or there was I think Ten Hag did a press conference today, and there were some comments that he made about Jadon Sancho.
So basically, what he was alluding to was that every position have two players there, and I feel like the wing position we have on the left hand side is Garnacho and Rashford, and then on the right hand side too is Ahmed and Anthony. So basically, what he's saying is that place there's enough players for that position, so he cannot pick all the players for match day squad too, but he's also kind of like talking about the players' attitude, when they don't get picked, what are their attitude to kind of like fight to get back into the team. I'm a big Jadon Sancho fan, and I feel like he should be ahead of a lot of the guys that there. I think we're gonna regret letting him go because last season he trusted Rashford, and Rashford kind of like let him down. I feel like Rashford will let him hack down the game, and sadly, Garnacho is more so utilized on the right hand side, so I feel like he don't really give Rashford that competition that Rashford need, and the only one that can give rush for the competition is Jadon Sancho. But for some reason, the manager don't like him too. But to me,
I don't get
if
it.
you're
I
gonna
don't
let him
get it.
go, yeah, that's fine. But to me, if you're gonna let him go, fine. But the guys that you're gonna put faith inside, they better deliver. Because when they don't deliver, I'm gonna criticize you for that kind of a decision. I
Of
will.
course. And that's my biggest issue with Ten Hag is like, how do you not see that he's one of your best wingers? I can't wrap my head around it. Like Anthony? You telling me Anthony's better than him? Garnacho's better than him? It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. And this guy had a very good Champions League run, a very good Champions League campaign, played well, was an important part of that team. They were resting him in the league to play him in the Champions League, but apparently he's not good enough for a team who finished 8th last season.
Right.
It's crazy to me. You can't you can't select all the players, but you need them all throughout the season. The attitude of the players is very important. Sometimes they'll be disappointed. Listen, as a grown man, if I see somebody who isn't as good as me getting opportunities that I should be getting, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, facts, man. To
Like,
be honest, I'm very surprised because if the relationship with the manager is still like that, and to be honest, if you go into the season telling me that Sancho is gonna be your 5th winger, then I don't know why they haven't found a solution for the boy to leave early in the window. You know, you should have found a solution for him to leave. But I don't know. I just have a feeling that there's a little bit like politics going on to where the club somehow don't want him to go, so they have set up like a high valuation too, and then the manager too don't really want to give him the opportunity to. But
yeah,
only time will tell. But to
he's
me,
stuck.
Whatever happens, they need to find a solution for him to leave the football club because keeping him will be bad.
I think,
especially for the manager and him.
This is another thought I have is that I think Ten Hag's on a clock, right? I think they're going to reassess him in December. If we're not where we're supposed to be by that time, they're going to bring in their own guy, or they're going to promote Rude, right? They'll probably promote Rude and give Rude 6 months with the squad and see how he does. But that's why they want to keep Sancho, because whatever the time if and when the manager doesn't do his job, which I think a lot of us think will probably happen, then okay, this next manager might favor him.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so
if you look at the summertime, some of the managers that we were linked to, I think a lot of them will like the Jadon Sancho kind of like profile too. But I think Tim had to, they only extended his contract by 1 year. So by this, I think he's gonna see the season out. I think he's gonna see the season out. But after the season, I think he needs to renegotiate his contract too. So how he performed this season will determine whether they wanna actually give him like a long-term contract or if they're gonna part ways too. So it is a big season for him. But as a football club too, you always have to like look after like your best talent too. But also Sancho too, you know, yes, the talent is there too, and I know he can also do it like Dortmund too. But maybe sometimes so he also maybe need to fight a little bit more too. I feel like he was good in preseason too. Whether he get a chance to show it too, is another thing, another conversation.
I thought he looked just fine in preseason. I thought, what was it, the Real Betis game? I thought he looked really good. And I think the most jarring thing about it to me is we don't score goals. Like, it'll be one thing if Anthony was prolific, if Garnacho was prolific. You know, I think Garnacho is a good impact sub. I think he's a very good impact sub, right? But I don't think he's prolific. I don't think he started like 30-something games on the trot and scored 7 goals. Like, that's not prolific. You know what I mean? So I think if you give Jadon Sancho 35 games on the trot, he'll probably score 6-7 goals. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like,
but what he also brings it to you, so I think he doesn't do that too, but what he brings to you to sort of like some of like the true passes that he put inside, because at Dortmund he was known for his assist, you know.
Of course.
His vision is out of this world too, but again, it's about putting him in the right positions to kind of like just do that too. But I think it's just like, look, as a Jadon Sancho fan, I think some part of me want him to stay and thrive here too, but another part of me too kind of like feel for him, like a talent like him deserve to be on the biggest stage playing.
He should be playing
and playing too. So there's like, if he was to get a move to go to like Juventus or say Barcelona, one of the clubs that he's been linked to, I'll be happy for him.
I think Thiago Motta would love Jadon Sancho. He has some explosive wingers. He has this young explosive winger on the left-hand side. Starts with an M, but I watched him this weekend. Good young player. adding another technical player, that like he's trying to sign technical players.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Let's get into the comments. Tell me, why did BVB talk the talk regards to Sancho, but then didn't sign him? Bro, they don't have the cash. We put too high of a valuation on him, so they're not gonna go in. They're not gonna pay 50 million or 45 million for him, right? So that's just the reality of it. Sometimes issues between managers and players have very little to do with football. Look at Tuchel wanting to sell Kimmich. Absolutely. We at the end of the season, Tuchel was playing Eric Dyer ahead of De Ligt. Does that mean does that mean Eric Dyer is better than De Ligt? No. It's just literally just sometimes managers don't rate players. You know what I'm saying? Pep didn't rate Yaya Toure. Like it's just some things are just like that. For 70 million, he scored 12 goals in 84 games. I'm so tired of the G8 convo when it comes to players like Jadon Sancho, bro. What he offers to a team is he's a connector. You feel me? He's somebody who he's the pass that leads to the assist, like the pass that leads to that assist. Like, you know what I mean?
It's Man United. The thing about Man United, and one thing that you're gonna realize is that we don't appreciate players like that. We appreciate the players with the GA. And to me, I've been very vocal on Spaces too. And I'm saying, like Ahmed, by the Liverpool game, he'll be out of the team. If he doesn't start scoring or assisting, he's going to be out of the team, because this team is about GA. You can perform bad. They don't really care about the performance. They care about the GA that you're going to get. And sadly, if you're a winger and you're not getting the GA, the fans are not going to be happy with you. And eventually you're going to lose your place, because some of the players too, they just know how to get a GA. Garnacho know how to get a GA. Bruno know how to get a GA, but the performance most of the time is not so great. So United, as a forward player, look at Scott McTominay last year. He was in the team because of his GA, So they appreciate the GA.
Yeah, shout out to this is exactly what you're saying, Mr. Two Goated. People will call me cynical. Shout out to Adam. He's a really smart, intelligent football mind. People will call me cynical or say I have an agenda, but I have no doubt in my mind that ETH is trying his hardest to provoke a reaction from Sancho to fall out with.
Facts.
Yeah, I may not go that far, but I'm not. I don't think I don't think it's a crazy take. I definitely don't think it's a crazy take.
It's not at all.
Yeah,
it's not at all.
Because Dortmund is okay to get defined as a feeder club to develop players and let them go on high wages. Yeah, Dortmund isn't trying to spend 60 million. They're trying to acquire 60 million, and right, like that's how they're a selling club. Ten Hag wants goal scorers, not playmakers, which you got to understand, as we don't play good football anyway. So to keep his job, you just got to score goals, which Garner offers, but he doesn't offer that. That's the thing, though. Listen, I think Garnacho is a very timely goal scorer. He's not a prolific goal scorer.
I think his GA last season was not bad. I think he had about 7 or 8 or so.
Yeah, 7. But again, I don't think that's prolific. I think it's
not prolific
for a 19-year-old. I think it's fine. I'm viewing him as a young player, so I'm not. This is not me criticizing him. Right. I'm just saying, as a unit, we don't score goals.
No, we don't.
So this whole thing that Garnacho scored, he scored. I will say Garnacho scored some very timely goals, like West Ham in the cup, Fulham, one of his first goals. The goal the assist versus City, Everton. Like, he scored a lot of big Man City Cup final. Like, he scored some very timely, prolific goals. But in terms of the unit, our team, we don't score goals. And
also with Garnacho too, yes, he scored a lot of goals too, but he get put into a lot of good one-on-one situation where he don't take the chances too. And I think that's where sometimes we'll be scratching our heads, feel like, you know what, you could have got more goals, because I think the way he plays, he get put through on goal a lot, Even at the weekend too, it was something very similar too, where Rashford missed a chance too. I think Garnacho too missed a chance too. So the both, yes, well, our team. I don't know if it's a confidence issue or whatever it is too, but the forward players, they need to do better, man. They really need to do better.
I've been complaining about our forward players for years now. I don't think they're as a unit. Like, I don't think our forward line is. Well, hopefully with ZIRKZEE that changes, right? And Ahmad playing more consistently, I hope that changes. But days of last year and even the year before, Marcus scored a bunch of goals. We didn't score a bunch of goals as a team. Right. So that, I think that's what the perception for fans needs to change, where it's okay. Yes. Do you want a prolific goal scorer in your team? Absolutely. I would never goals are what we've come to see. That's obviously. But what I would rather score a bunch of goals and it's spread out, right? Because we're functioning as a team and
Right.
we're moving the ball well, and whoever scores the goal. Like TBH, shout out my guy Davis, my brother here. TBH, I don't think Sancho fits in United. I don't think he's athletic enough. Ability wise, he's a baller, but not for this team. It's for me, I just don't agree with that because he never got 10 games on the bounce. Like,
I think what did he? I think in Tim Hagler first season, I think he did on the right, and then he got moved to the left hand side. He did have a run of games too, but I think that was like the best under Tim Hagler. Because I remember when he scored the Liverpool goal. He
Run,
did score, I
yes.
think, against like Southampton or Leicester. He did score too. He was setting up players too, so he was doing good too. But one thing about him that he was, I think, because Tim Hagler wanted to bring Anthony in there too, so you can always say that he wanted to like force Marcus. Eventually, it was always going to be Rashford had to play, Anthony had to play too. So it was just one of those ones that he was. I remember Tim Hagler first season, he was always like the first one to be taken off from. Similar to now, if you watch Ahmed, it don't matter whether he's playing good or not. He was always the first one to be taken out from too. So it's just one of those ones where I don't know. From the beginning, he can feel that him and the manager's energy
wasn't right.
wasn't there too. So
wasn't
it's a
right.
shame too. But it's part of football, As a football fan, we always
know
see
it
players
is.
go and come all the time too.
It's a part of the game. And listen, I don't think he's ever gonna hit the heights here. I've kind of accepted that. But I wish him well because I know wherever he goes, he's gonna play well. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain players that you just know. Like he went to Dortmund for 6 months. He was in a Champions League final, bro. I don't think that's an accident.
Right.
I really don't think that's an accident. But let's get into our upcoming game this weekend. Brighton, or actually, before I do that, let's get into the comments. And guys, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Our goals only dried up under Ten Hag. I don't blame the forwards. We don't attack space transition the way we used to under previous managers. Lack of coaching. If you look at Sancho's first season at the club, he was robbed of so many assists. That's very true. For 74 million, you can't stop scoring goals. We come to Manchester United, Germany. He was on fire. Now he's at a bigger club. His GA doesn't matter. I don't think that's how that works personally. Obviously, you want him to have a good GA, but listen, we haven't been a functional club. It's not an accident. Like name me the player we've signed for over 70 million that hit the heights that they were supposed to hit. Name me that player. Lukaku.
Yeah, I think the last one was Pogba. First season was good, but
Pogba. That's it. And even if you ask a lot of United fans, they probably say, "Oh, Pogba wasn't good. Pogba wasn't good enough."
They didn't like him. They didn't like him.
So, name me this player that we've signed for this big fee that has done well. And okay, so if we all agree that when we sign these big money players, they haven't hit the heights, is it the players' fault or the environment that they are in that is causing them to not play well? Like this is what frustrates me. It's like we just say, "Oh, he's 70 million. He's crap. He hasn't scored goals." It's like no one's playing well. Even the young players that we've betted in, Marcus Rashford.
Holland was having the same issue too. Big money.
I don't think
struggling for goals.
I don't think personally. I don't think Holland's for 70 million pounds or euros. Excuse me. I think it was 70 million euros. No, like
that's worth it. Yeah.
No, didn't he go like how many goals in the Premier League did he go without? How many games in the Premier League did he go without scoring a goal? I think he went like a 14, 15, something crazy. Like
something crazy. Remember, Gallo, they were doing a song about him, miracles and all that kind of stuff. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, and listen, he's a young player, so I don't necessarily think he's good enough, but it's not his fault that he 70 million euros. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not an accident that players don't just hit the ground running at Manchester United, right? It's just. Oh, it's crazy. Sadly, his career has shown that he's not a winner. As everything he's had a chance to win, he's bottled internationally. That's a crazy take. He's just a nice footballer. That's it. He's played at Dortmund and Manchester United. Dortmund is a small club, and he did well at Dortmund, overachieved at Dortmund, right? And then he went to Manchester United, which has been an absolute dumpster fire for how long? Since I've been in high school. You feel me? It's crazy. So Pogba was the GOAT. You already know, of course, but that's one of my favorite players ever. He's going to leave and go right back to the top again. He fits all the clubs he's linked with, like PSG, Juve, and Barca. The fact that those clubs are linked with him are enough to tell you that there's still a belief in Jadon Sancho. You feel me? I can't name more than 3 games where Sancho has been exceptional. Sad but the truth. Leeds, he was exceptional. Liverpool, he was exceptional. There was a Leicester game where he was pretty damn good too.
Leicester game too, he was exceptional.
Leicester
too.
game, yeah. So I just named.
He
I just named
kind
3.
of like slowly fade out, because I think getting taken off early maybe must have affected like his confidence a little bit too. Because I think he started a lot of the games too. He was part of like a lot of like he was part of the Liverpool win, the Arsenal win, the Southampton win. He played a lot of games, He played a lot of games at the beginning. He had that thing. I think the Chelsea game I think the Europa League got taken off with Malasia. And then the Chelsea one after that, and he just disappeared, But look, it is what it is, man. His Sancho topic is one of those ones where we can talk about it
all day. I know
all day, man. It divides like opinions among the fan base,
Yeah. We'll move on from Sancho. We have to move on from Sancho. We've already 40 minutes and we haven't talked. Brighton yet, so we want to. I don't want to take up too much NK's time. Sancho is still 8th on the 21st century players with best assist to game ratio with 3 seasons here. That's crazy, actually, if you think about it. Temi, did you see Sekou Kone's range of pass? His passes are similar to Pogba's. He is a baller. I mean, he's young, bro. I saw the clips. I saw the highlights, and obviously, for me, it's a challenge because listen, I never judge a player off of comps. That is the number one mistake that football Twitter and fans make is watching a comp and making an assessment of a player. You have to watch a full game. Like for instance, like one of my boys before Højlund came, he sent me videos of Højlund, and I was like, I watched full games of him in the international squad. Like you can tell he's an athlete, but I wasn't a fan of his I wasn't a fan of his first touch. I didn't think he looked silky, so I was just like 70 mil, like because I watched the whole game, right?
Right.
Like if you told me you watched a whole game with somebody or 2, 3, 4, like I'll give you that. But comps, listen, he's clearly a young talent. If you're a young player and you're getting scouted by United, Arsenal, Chelsea, you're clearly talented. Like that's
right.
You know what I mean? But we have to wait and see. Pogba played many good games at Manchester United, in my opinion. They're not in the same category. Plus, the injuries finished. Listen, I'm not comparing Jadon Sancho to Paul Pogba. I'm just saying that the archetype of those type of players, the big money signings, no matter where they were, their level, none of them worked. It's just a fact. Sancho was number 3 for highest GA for players on the age of 23 before joining Man United. Mbappe was first, Rashford second. Interesting. Let's talk about Brighton and Manchester United. I don't know if you got a chance to see Brighton versus Everton this weekend.
I watched the highlights. Yeah.
So I watched the game on tape delay. Right. I told myself this season I'm gonna watch the full game of the team we play. The game they played before.
Right.
And just to see what's going on. Except for any small Europa League team, forget it. I'm not doing that.
Right.
You can forget it. But Premier League, Cup games, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, man, I thought Everton actually played pretty well for 55 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they made it difficult for Brighton. Brighton normally dominates possession. Everton had 48% of the ball, right? Even after the fact of them getting a red card. I thought that when they got the second goal, though, Brighton just took it to another level.
Yeah.
Right? And they have that. They're still playing the same, new young manager. They're still playing this high risk football, silky football, which worries me.
Yeah.
Because that's the type of team that we've seen it. They can pop us off the park. Like we've seen it happen so many times over the past couple of seasons.
I kind of had them wrong because I was predicting that I think finally they probably their luck will run out in terms of like getting the right managers too. But judging by the Everton game too, they got some very exciting wingers too. They very exciting wingers too. So it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a hard game over the weekend, man. It's going to be a hard game. I thought it was going to be one of those ones where we can go there and just show our quality too. But after what I saw against Everton, I
No,
think it's going to be a tough
we're
game.
not there yet. And I've heard a lot of people talking about this game in the parts of the week, and I've had debates, and people are just saying like we just got to go there and be on the front foot. I'm like, this is like let's live in reality. That's not what we do, especially
Right.
against a team like Brighton, where they're just so technically sound and so intelligent. They have intelligent players. The thing that I think would be in our benefit is they're going to make mistakes. Like I saw that there's mistakes to be made. I'm a big fan of Matt Zweifer, the DM they signed, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't have a good game. Like he didn't have a good game. His first outing in the Premier League, I thought he was very shaky, right?
Yeah.
He gave away the ball in multiple
They
positions.
played the back three, correct? They did play the back three, correct? Yeah, I think they played the
So
back three. Yeah.
and Viper was collecting the ball from the back three, right? And he made a few mistakes because they're playing, Barca tiki taka. That's what they do, right? And they have explosive wingers, right? Like
The
Matoma.
thing is, on the weekend too, one thing that we did very good too was the way we were pressing
Yes.
from the front
Yep.
too. So I think if we are able to also press like that too, come the weekend, we will force them into some mistakes too, and hopefully we can take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that leads me right into lineups, right?
Yeah.
I'm interested to we're gonna put our lineups together and then compare them, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts. We know what's gonna happen here, right? Obviously.
Yeah,
So
everybody knows that. Yeah.
everybody knows that. That's an easy one. Left back, that's probably gonna be Dallo,
That
right?
again.
I think we agree. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Right back is an easy one, I think.
Maserati.
Yep. Now this is probably going to be Lissandro if we're right. Now this is where the questions lie, because Harry Maguire had a good game. I will say that he played well. I'm not his biggest fan. I've been one of his biggest critics since he came at the club, but the facts are he had a very good game. And it leaves the manager with the question of, does he bring in his big money signing, who eventually is going to be the start of the season, especially with Euro having a pretty big injury to start his career. De Ligt will eventually replace Maguire. That's just is going to happen, right? But what do you think he's going to do this weekend? Do you think he replaces Maguire, or do you think he keeps, or excuse me, do you think he brings in?
I think it's Tim Hag. One thing about him, sometimes he's not bold enough. He is not bold enough. I will have him put the Ligt inside. I would like the Ligt to be ready for the Liverpool game. There's match fitness too, But look, Maguire played well too. If I was the manager, I'll play the Ligt. I'll play the Ligt too. But maybe I'll play the Ligt. But I think he's gonna go with Maguire. I think he's gonna go with the same back four, because he always have this thing where he talk about the routines with the back four. If you keep it consistent too, and also you never want to change a back four that got a clean sheet. You never want to do that too. So I think he's gonna go with that too. But I hope Maguire don't stay in that team for long. I really hope he doesn't do that.
I don't think he will.
About getting a new contract with those performance.
The better he plays, the worse it is for us. Is that what you're telling me? The Brighton game for me is harder than Liverpool. If we try to press them, we're catching hands. I hope Ten Hag shows. Actually, I disagree with that. I think what you need to do is actually apply pressure, right? Yeah. I saw Everton apply some good pressure against them, and there was mistakes made. First of all, who's that Irobunam kid? Bro, he was hooping. He was hooping the whole game. He was the best midfielder on the pitch, right? And I think, if we'll get, actually, you know what? We'll get to that. Let me not spoil this part of the show. Brighton will give us more space than Fulham, in my opinion. I think so too. I'm not worried about Brighton. We played City and look good, brother. This is not how this works. I'm letting you know right now. Just because we were solid against City, it's never like that. It's not that.
It's always different, isn't it?
Yeah, each game is, bro. These are professional footballers, and trust. H and I agree. In our worst season ever last year, we actually beat Brighton. Dallo random goal. Listen, that was the end of the season. I think I'm not giving that. I'm not giving that win too much credence, man. When we were trying to win, like early in the season, they bopped us. Like
Yeah, they
they
did.
they bopped us off the park, bro. So like, listen, talking. We can say, oh, it's Brighton. Like, oh, it's just Brighton. No. Brighton are a quality. Like, they're a very good team. Like, I don't think they played. I think obviously under a new manager, they won 3-0. So but I still don't even think they were at their best. Right. I
But
think
the thing about United too is we have this mentality issue to when we go away from home and then the atmosphere get crazy too. All the players kind of like crumble. So there's that aspect of it too, where because remember under Tim Hag we struggle away from home. We are yet to even beat the top. I think Villa was the only top 10 team that we beat away from home last season. So that's something too that we need to really, really work on too. So there's something about this team and that Team Hag where away from home a lot of the time they're not comfortable too. So they have to first of all deal with the crowd first and then earn the right to play. So we'll see anyways though.
Yeah, that's fair. De Ligt and ZIRKZEE must start. They are the future. I agree with that. I think they'll eventually become stars. We're going to resort to hoofball, I feel. I hope not. I really hope not. Last season was this season. Things have changed. I hope you're right. Boss. And we're picking the lineup we think Ten Hag is going to play. Mind you, this is not what we would do. I just want to emphasize that. So the pivot, I think we can agree is Casemiro, Menu, right? Or do you think it'd be anything different?
No. He's not changing now. It's gonna be unchanged.
Yeah, I think so too. Actually, it should be Casemiro. Then he's gonna put Menu on the left. Number 10 is, we all know who that's gonna be. It might be. Look, actually, it might be Mount. Might be Mount. Actually, thank you. Sorry, you're right. You're right. Let's talk. This is where I want to. This is where I want to break this down. Do you think he's gonna bring in ZIRKZEE, or do you think he's gonna keep that front four?
I think it's gonna. To be honest with you, I think Mount is gonna be safe because I don't think he will wanna shatter his confidence too early. So I think he will keep mounting there and then do the Bruno first 9 again. Rashford is on the left. The bit that I'm just not sure because I'm anticipating is coming. Ahmed for Garnacho. I'm anticipating it's coming. I just don't know when he's gonna do that just yet. So I'm gonna go with Ahmed in this game, but I feel like it will be his last start until Garnacho coming for the Liverpool game. But I will say pretty much it's gonna be an unchanged 11. If there is any change, it might be Garnacho for Ahmed. Yeah,
I agree. I think he's gonna play that. I think he's gonna play that front four. I actually listen. I think Rashford should get dropped. I don't mind Garnacho coming in for Rashford. Actually, I wouldn't mind that. But I'm actually happy with the Mount and Bruno thing right now. And let me explain, because I know a lot of fans will think I'm crazy. I'm not saying that I want that to be the future. I think for this specific game, we need to be compact. We need 4 midfield players on the pitch, right? Bruno, Mount, Manu, Casemiro, 4 midfield players, right? That will condense the space, keep it tight. That's what you need to do against Brighton, right? You can't let them play through the lines. I think Mason Mount, to be fair, like you mentioned earlier, we pressed well. And I think a lot of that, you can like him or not, I think Mason Mount triggered our press and helped us, win the ball back in high spaces, especially in the first half of that Fulham game, right? We won the ball back high up the pitch of quite a few times, and we just didn't take advantage of it, right? I think we need to do the same thing against Brighton, because I think they will make mistakes, right? As much as they play silky football, those guys aren't top level players, right? They're not world-class players. They're just, they're just well drilled and well coached players. So there are mistakes in that first phase of their buildup that we can take advantage of. You feel me? So I think if we play with a false 9, press them well, and stay in the don't like keep another clean sheet, right? It sounds very pragmatic, right? But I don't necessarily think it has to be that way, because when we win the ball back, we can play. But if we play if we let them play, we're gonna get
Yeah.
bullied. So yeah, I don't know. Rambo, yes, please. If we beat Brighton, well, why wouldn't he start against Liverpool? Um,
Talk
I
about
think
what Ahmed one.
is it that? Yeah, is that the Ahmad one?
I think so. I don't know. I just feel like Tim Hag just have like his way of playing too, and I feel like Ganacho, because you saw, for example, Ganacho came on, go and assist, and I told you this team, GA make you stay in this team. It's not about performance or so. Yes, Ahmad was okay in terms of like keeping it simple here and there, so like that too. But in this team, especially in a team where the front line don't score a lot of goals, the manager will always resort to the guy that will give him GA over the guy that give him good performance. He done that with
Mm,
McTominay last season, and he's gonna do that with Ahmed and Genacho, sadly.
mm,
And also there's Anthony too, who is he's dying to try the Anthony Mazraoui partnership on that right hand side too. So I don't know. I just feel like with Ahmed, it's just a matter of time before he come
mm.
out of the first team.
I so hope that you're wrong, but I've been getting that eerie feeling too. I'll be honest with you. I've been placing it in the back of my head, but there's a world where you're probably right. I honestly, it's been a thought, but I've just kind of been keeping it tame. But you're probably right.
Yeah.
You know the type of player he likes those direct. I want ZIRKZEE up front, Bruno number 10, Mount left wing, but Ten Hag would never. Listen, I don't think Marcus Rashford is a starter for us anymore. I I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't understand. I don't get it. Personally, the whole Marcus Rashford forcing this, he's just not he's not it. I don't know what else to say. Like,
It's going to be a big, like I said to you, he's going to let the team down again. He's going to let the manager down again. But look, well, that's what I said to you. The manager, he's bold. That's the guy that he chose to put faith inside. And when he let him down too, it's not going to be a Rashford problem no more. It's going to be the manager problem this time because you saw how he was last year. You had a winger in there too.
Jadon
You decided to
Sancho.
let him go. So we're
Yep.
going to see. Time will tell. If it work out, we're going to applaud him. If it doesn't work out to them, we're going to criticize him. It's what we do as football fans.
Yeah. I want Ahmad to play too. He has to do the work. He forced his way into the team, and he can only he can keep his shirt. I, what does that mean? He has to do the work. He has done the work. Like he's every time this man touches the ball, something good happens. Like it's like
I disagree. I don't think. I think preseason he was good against what do you call it? The
Fulham is
last game that we
quiet.
played,
He was
he
quiet,
was he didn't really do much in the
but
in the last game.
I agree with that. But I'm saying like I think the reason is because it was very left hand sided focused last game,
Yeah,
right? Like I don't think he had enough opportunities to really stand out. Like he didn't have a great game. I agree with
yeah.
that, but
I think he's also kind of like playing. When you play and in the back of your mind, you just know that you don't have a lot of like opportunities to kind of like stay in the team, and then you just because he's playing there. He know Anthony is there. He know Ganacho is there too against City in the Community Shield 2 or 4. He was like the best winger on the pitch, and then the manager took him off and left Rashford on. That can affect your confidence as a player too. And I think slowly by slowly, the manager will kill his confidence, and then moving from the team slowly by slowly. In this team, sometimes it's a blessing if you don't start the season in the first 11 and actually make an impact from the bench. I've always said that it's a blessing to actually not start in the first 11 and actually make your way in there.
mm, no, yeah, I hear that, bro. I don't do player FC. Ferguson famously said no player. Listen, I'm not player FC, but also a realist. Like I have opinion. Like I don't think, for instance, this is probably true. Unfortunately, if he doesn't score assists this weekend, he gets dropped. Like that's probably true. But I don't. This is where I have a problem with it because why why are performances just GA focused? Like there's 90 minutes in the game. The build up to a goal generally can be anywhere between 1 second to 15, 20 seconds. Like those are very small moments. There's so many other things in a game that lead up to those moments. And if you don't do those things well, you get less of those moments. Amad Diallo is the type of player when he gets on the ball, he does things that keep the ball ticking. which creates more opportunities for us. Like I just don't understand how people don't see this. But Rashford's overrated. Yeah, Rashford is definitely overrated. But I don't know. Ten Hag obsessed with runners and not actual ballers is sad. It's crazy because he used to rate ballers. I don't know what happened to him, bro. It's like at Ajax he had proper ballers. Like he was playing like Daily Blind, who had no pace but had tech, right? Like Dusan Tadic, Frankie De Jong, Van de Beek. Like I thought he was gonna play Van de Beek when he got to the club. Nope, didn't happen.
He them avoided, but it's cool though. He's playing Champions League football. That's what that matters.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy when you think about it, but I do think this is gonna be the lineup, bro. I do think this is gonna be the lineup. Maybe De Ligt. I think for me, the question is more De Ligt and Maguire because I think he does want to get De Ligt into this. That's
he'll play Maguire. It's Tim Hag. One thing about him, he don't like upsetting. He doesn't like doing certain. He's gonna let Maguire shoot himself in the foot. There's some plays that he just knows it's a matter of time before they have a bad performance, and then he yanked them off. And Maguire is one of them. He's gonna buy his time to say, hey, Maguire is gonna be like what he done with Casemiro first came and Scott McTominay was playing well, and then one bad result, he just changed the whole team. I think he's gonna do that with Maguire. He's gonna wait until one bad result, and then he's gonna bring Delay into the team. Man, it's just a matter of when. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I hear. What are your predictions for score wise in this game? If this is the lineup we play.
I think we're gonna draw 1-1. We're gonna draw. We're gonna
1-1. Okay.
1-1. If we can keep a clean sheet, we win the game. Because I always feel like we got one goal in us. Whether we have two goals in us, that's a different question. But I don't know. Something just told me we're gonna draw. But if we go in and play 2 games unbeaten, I'll take it because I think that will be the first time under Tim Hag that we've gone the first 2 games unbeaten. So that will be a progress itself. 4 points from 6. I mean, he hasn't done that yet. So you take that and then go to the Liverpool game. And then another game to hopefully win that and then make it 7, which is not bad from the first 3 games.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna go for a 1-0. I think we're gonna condense the space, right? With this team that we have, it's gonna be quite compact. It's gonna be quite I think Brighton will find it difficult to break through the press. Not break through the press, but just the spaces. Like I think it's gonna be a lot of tight spaces and mistakes will be made. I don't think we're gonna be very prolific again. We don't have enough goals in this team that I'm looking at right here. We don't have enough real ballers in the team, if I'm being real, just looking at this team as well. So
yeah,
I think it's a team that can do a job and get us a clean sheet, which is what I'm really focused on right now because we were so bad last season in terms of keeping, clean sheets and going down. And I just think we need to start off this season by going back to basics. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everyone thinks we can just go out and take a game by the scruff of the neck and win 3-0. This team isn't capable of it right now. It's not capable of it. So we just have to wait and see. Anthony keeps the ball too, and he defends, but in the final third, he does nothing all the time. But we all have come to the conclusion he shouldn't start. Yeah, Anthony's not good enough, bro. I'm gonna be real. He's kind of bad. Listen, I do agree that from penalty box to penalty box, he's quite decent, but he's a championship level player in the final third, like literally a championship level player. So, yeah, I'm not even trying to hear the Anthony dialogue. On Rashford, how many times does he get an overlap now? Which winger comes deepest to receive the ball? How many times does he get the ball in the box? Ten Hag is playing into his weaknesses. Listen, Marcus Rashford, he's one-dimensional. Is that what you're telling me? Like he's very essentially you just called him one-dimensional. Like he can only run in behind, right? He doesn't beat fullbacks anymore. Have you noticed that? Is it just me?
Yeah, it doesn't. I think that fullback against
Tete was killing him.
Yeah, it was killing him too. And I think as the game was going on too, he lost his confidence. But despite how bad his performance was, he could have had a goal and assist.
Yeah,
as bad as it was, he could have scored a goal.
If Garnacho finishes his dinner.
One too. So And that's the thing about that. If he scored a goal and assisted, nobody will be talking about Rashford's performance, and
That's the thing.
that's
That's the
United
thing.
for you.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. I'm predicting a 1-0. I'm gonna wrap up here. We're coming. We're over an hour. NK, my guy, I appreciate you. Hey, shout out to everyone who was in the chat. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
guys, thank you, man.
We're gonna be back tomorrow. I got my guy, Footy Carnage, pulling up. We're gonna be talking some weekend preview stuff, talking Real Madrid, and some other topics. So make sure to tune into that show tomorrow. It's gonna be a late night stream, like 10 p.m. my time. So mods will probably be asleep, but it's all love. Appreciate y'all for showing loves. Give the shout out. Shout out H Don 88 Pro. Shout out Kyle Lewis. Shout out Laws Butterfly. Shout out my guy David. Shout out Elite Baller. Shout out Rambo _T. Shout out. Who am I missing here? Did I miss anybody? Shout out DLM Designs. Shout out Mr. Two Goated. Shout out Nick Hadley. Shout out Rajat. Did I miss anybody? Shout out Kitso T. Did I miss anybody? Oh, shout out Stretford Gamer TV. Yep, and I think that's everybody. Oh, shout out MUFC Cooling. So yep, no, appreciate it, everybody. We appreciate the love as always. Really appreciate it. We're gunning for 600 subscribers now. We hit 500 yesterday, so now we're gonna try to get to 600. You feel me? Hopefully, we can get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Why not?
Why not? Man?
Why not? So let's try and get to 1,000 before the end of the year. That's the goal. So we're gonna keep grinding, man. NK, I gotta get you back, bro. This was a dope conversation.
Let me know anytime, man. I'll be here,
man.
I'll be here.
Yes,
it's gonna be a long season, anyways. Man.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna make sure I get you. I'm gonna try and get you at least once a week, bro. I'm gonna try and get you at least once a week.
Just let me know, and then me. I'll take the time, man.
Nah, I appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate you, Mike. For everyone who's watching with us, we appreciate you. We're gonna sign out. Everyone be safe, and we will be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow.